In this Blender tutorial for beginners, I will show you how I animated a 2D social media alert. You will need to find a social media icon to use for this tutorial. Make sure you have the Import Images as Plane add-on activated. And if you're using an SVG, make sure you have the Import SVG add-on activated in Blender. I delete the cube and add a plane. In the animation workspace, I clear the camera's location and rotation with Alt-G and Alt-R. I move the camera up on the Z-axis until I can see the plane. I scale the plane to the initial size I want for the social media information. Then I duplicate the plane and move it down along the Z-axis so it sits below the first plane. Then I give it a red material with 100% roughness. Now I import my Twitter logo and I scale it to the needed size. And then I align it to the plane. I change the default light to an area light. I clear the location and rotation with Alt-G and Alt-R and move it up along the Z-axis. Then I scale it to the size of the alert. I change the power and turn off the shadows. Under the Render Properties tab, I activate the Transparent option under the Film section. I now add text to the scene. And in Edit mode, I change the text to read what I need it to read. In Object mode, under the Object Data Properties tab, I choose a font, and then I scale the text. Then I align my text to the plane and add a small amount of extrusion under the Geometry section. Under the Materials tab, I assign a basic material with a blue color using the hex code 5B7FA5 and 100% roughness. Now I'll make a mask from a plane. Add a plane and scale it so it's just slightly larger than the logo. I add a material to the mask, change it from the principled shader to hold out. And I move the logo up along the Z-axis so it's above the mask. Now I can move on to the animation. Under the output properties, I change the frame rate to 30 and the end frame to 45. This will be a 1.5 second long animation. I select the logo, and on frame 12, I add a keyframe for scale. On frame 10, I scale the logo by 1.2 and add a keyframe for scale. On frame 1, I scale the logo to 0 and add a keyframe for scale. Then I select both planes and the text and move them along the z-axis till they disappear behind the mask. And I select the mask, and in edit mode, I select the left edge and move it so it completely covers my text and my planes. And then move it up along the z-axis so it completely covers everything. On frames 1 and 12, I add a keyframe for a location. On frame 22, I move the planes and the text back to their starting place. And add a keyframe for location. Then on frame 25, I move the bottom plane along the x-axis and add a keyframe for location. Under the Output Properties tab, I choose where I want to save my animation to, and I'll be using the PNG format with RGBA. And under Render, choose Render Animation. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Have a good day.